We're at Madison Square Garden where Manny Pacquiao announced his farewell fight that'll be against Timothy Bradley. It'll be Saturday, April 9th in Las Vegas, and it'll be broadcast live on HBO Pay-Per-View.
We're looking forward to a spectacular fight between Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley at the MGM Grand Arena on April 9th in Las Vegas. And we know how important it is for us to come to New York to talk about our event, the fight, the undercard, everything connected with the event, because the fight fans in this area are second to none in the world. It's not by accident that Madison Square Garden has put on some of the biggest fights of the 50 years that I've been in boxing, and Madison Square Garden continues to put on major events. Now, before we start talking about the main event and introduce the various personalities, I'd like to talk a little bit about the undercard, because it's very important in the sport of boxing that we continuously try to bring to the fore new fighters, fighters who attract the attention of the public. But on this card, this undercard, which I call the Donald Trump undercard because it features in each fight a Hispanic fighter who even Mr. Trump wouldn't dare deport. And I dedicate to the 11 million people who live among us who are undocumented, but do a lot of work, raise families, and in general comport themselves so well. Those people really need a pathway to legal residence in this country, and I think that undercard will symbolize that effort. Jose Ramirez, who was a member of the U.S. Olympic boxing team in the last Olympics, fights out of Fresno, California, the Central Valley of California, which produces so much of the food that we eat in this country. Jose has been doing crowds. Tim was his last fight, over 13,000 people for an 8-round fight. He's a future superstar. Oscar Valdez, two-time Mexican Olympian, #1 rated featherweight in the world, will fight the former champion Evgeny Gradovac on the card. And finally, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, the #1 rated super middleweight in the world, will challenge the longtime super middleweight champion Arthur Abraham of Germany on the card. So it's a terrific, terrific undercard. And these two fighters, Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley, deserve a great undercard because they're great fighters, and this will be a terrific, terrific event on April 9th. So now let me introduce the members of Tim Bradley's camp. First, his father, Ray Bradley. Sitting in the audience, his manager, Monica Bradley. And of course, his head trainer, who you'll hear from in a few minutes, Teddy Atlas. And Team Pacquiao, want to introduce our favorite advisor and the man who gets things done on Manny's behalf, Michael Kahns. and Freddie Roach, who we'll hear from in a few minutes. Now, anybody who knows anything about boxing and follows boxing knows that what they saw last November when Tim fought against Brandon Rios, they saw a new and improved version of Tim Bradley. Not that he wasn't a great fighter before, but they saw an even better fighter November 7th. And a lot of that is attributable to what he learned from Teddy Atlas. So please welcome the head trainer for Tim Bradley, Teddy Atlas.
Last time we just did this a couple days ago in Los Angeles, so you want to try to change the material a little bit, because some of you guys might have been listening while we were in Los Angeles. But the first thing, I hope it's not a bad sign, Peter Nelson, who's I think is the right guy for the job, the new head of HBO, he was sitting on our side in Los Angeles. I hope this isn't bad that he's on his side now. I hope that's not a, that's right, Pete? I hope that's not a bad sign. Yeah, and well, it's a great turnout. Last time in Los Angeles, I made some parallels to the Super Bowl, because obviously that's in our near future here in the United States. And both these fighters have been in their share of Super Bowls. And that's what they do. They get to Super Bowls. And now maybe it's fitting if I use a different analogy to talk about the election, especially since Bob touched on it just a little bit. If we did talk about and use some thoughts about the election that's coming up, election for Manny and of course the election in this country, you would think that this is the final debate. And then it's all a matter of living up to your campaign promises. Well, I'm not a politician, but it would be easy, I think, to believe me that both these fighters have always lived up, unlike some politicians, have always lived up to their campaign promises, always. They get in the ring, they bring talent, they bring heart, and they bring the ability to win at the highest level. So obviously on April 9th, you can be sure, whichever side that you're going to go and flip your ballot for, you can be sure that both those sides will be doing the same thing that they've done their entire lives in boxing. And part of the power, part of the strength, if there is such a thing as a good politician, and we might have one here, part of the strength is that you care about other people. Part of Pacquiao's strength, I never underestimate that he brings more than quick twitch fibers, you know, explosiveness, quick hands, power, quick feet. But he brings the strength because he's fighting for his people in the Philippines. And there's a great strength to that. There really is. When you fight for something more than yourself, there's a power to that. And Timothy is not a politician, but he brings that same strength. He brings the strength. Manny brings it to go forward and fight in a different arena, maybe after this fight, for the good people of the Philippines. Timmy has always cared about, obviously, fighting and serving his family and the people in this country. And the way that he's done it, I think is the best way and the most powerful way you can do something in life. He's lived his life as a champion person, and he's fought as a champion fighter every time he's gotten in the ring. So Manny will go forward, and you will get a chance to say goodbye to a guy who's been one of the best fighters of the last 10 years. He will go forward. He will fight in a different arena for his good people of the Philippines. And Timothy will continue fighting for his family and for the good people of this country and setting an example of how to live as a champion and how to win as a champion. Nobody's going to be disappointed when they come the 9th, because these two men have never disappointed anybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Teddy. Well said. And now it's an honor for me to bring to the microphone Manny's trainer. He's a man beloved by people in boxing. He has been Trainer of the Year, selected by the boxing writers for numerous years. He certainly has brought credibility to the sport of boxing. He's become an icon in the sport, and he's somebody that earns and has the trust of his fighters, particularly a fighter like Manny Pacquiao. So please welcome Manny's trainer, Freddie Roach.
Thanks, Bob. It's been a great ride with Manny. I'm a little bit sad that this is going to be his last fight, but we've had a great 15 years together, and again, I don't think most marriages last that long. I mean, we've been together for a long time, and he's a hard worker. He'll be in great shape for this fight. We know we're going up against a good fighter. Timothy is a great fighter. He's got a very good new trainer on board. So I like the competition, and it's going to be a great fight. I wish you everyone luck, and we'll see you at the fight. Thanks.
Tim Bradley epitomizes what is great about the sport of boxing. He is somebody that has graced this sport for many years. He always gives more than 100% in the ring. He conducts himself so well outside the ring as well as in the ring. If you want to draw up a perfect athlete for the sport of boxing, you would go no further than Tim Bradley. He's been a 5-time world champion, and he always participates in exciting fights. He's a great family man. He's a credit to us in the sport of boxing. We see so many great young men, but we see other athletes in the sport who are not so great, like any sport. But we know that we have Tim Bradley in this sport. We're doing the right things. So please welcome the welterweight champion of the world, Timothy Bradley.
First of all, I want to give an honor and praise to God for allowing me to be here today. I also want to thank my wife. Thank you, Monica, for always being supportive and helping me, with this journey. I want to thank my parents, Mom, Pops. Thank you very much for always being supportive and loving me the way you guys do. I want to thank my team, Team Bradley. I want to thank Teddy. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you for being here. Thanks for coming back for me. Thank you. I also want to give a shout out to Elaine, and I also want to give a shout out to Teddy's daughter as well, Nicole. Hello, everyone out there. Hello. I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank HBO. I want to thank Top Rank once again. I want to thank Pacquiao, Nim for and his team for choosing me. And that goes to show you what type of fighter Pacquiao is, what type of man he is. He could have picked anybody else, but, Pacquiao always picks a challenge. He knows this is going to be a challenge. April 9th, it's all that matters to me right now. April 9th, nothing else matters. I'm going to be ready. Teddy and I and the team going to go to the lab, and we come out. We're going to be a smart monster April 9th. And it's only going to get better from here. I feel that now I have identity as a fighter. I know what I'm about, and tune in April 9th. Don't miss it. Thank you guys for coming.
We've been here for a couple of hours, and I spoke to a lot of television, a lot of reporters, and a lot of them asked me the same question. Is this Manny Pacquiao's last fight? And I say, frankly, I don't know. He says it's his last fight, and we have to take him at his word. And if it is his last fight, I think certain things have to be said, and certain things really should come out. Prior to Manny Pacquiao, Americans knew very little about the Philippines. Yeah, we knew about Bataan and Corregidor and General MacArthur, I shall return, but that was sort of the limit of what we knew about the Philippines. Now, thanks to Manny Pacquiao, we know so much more. One thing we all realize as Americans, that the one country in the world that's most similar to the United States is the Philippines. From their political system to the way people react. We've really learned about the Philippine people, and we've learned about the great country of the Philippines, and that is no small measure due to Manny Pacquiao. He has been a tremendous, tremendous symbol of all that's good in athletics, all that's good in the Philippine people, and because of Manny Pacquiao, so many of us in this great country have a special place in our heart for the Philippines, and that's great. It's great to see that it was a boxer that caused this. It's great that Manny Pacquiao was part of us in boxing. We all, I think, can take pride in his accomplishments and how he has conducted himself. For me, it's such a great pleasure to once again bring to the microphone to you, the fans of New York, a man that I have tremendous admiration for, a man who has won world championships from the flyweight up to the welterweight and junior middleweight, but a man who has conducted himself in such an exemplary manner. Please welcome, from the Philippines, General Santos in the Philippines, the pride of the Philippines, the pride of the United States, and the pride of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Bob. First, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank God for giving us a wonderful day and giving us strength. I want to thank HBO for being there, always supporting us, and Top Rank Promotion. I want to thank my team, especially the head coach, Freddie Roach, Michael Cons, and to the team Pacquiao. Of course, my wife is here. And thank you to all the support of the fans, the media and press. Thank you for always supporting us in boxing. Not only me, but all the boxers. You always promote boxing in this not only this country, but all over the world. You helping us a lot, and it's sad. And it's sad to say that this is my last fight with the team Bradley, and sad to say that after this I'm going to retire and hang up my gloves and focus to my another big responsibility in life to help the people. And I was remember, I remember when I start boxing. I entered into boxing because I want to help my family, my mother. That's how I know boxing. Before that, I don't know boxing, but I entered the boxing because I want to help them. And now I end my boxing career in helping people, helping the Filipino people. So it's good, and I'm so blessed by God that my career into in a good way, not like other fighter that in their career and in a bad way, in a right way, not right way. So I'm so thankful and blessed by God for everything that He had given me, and I never expect and never dream, beyond of my imagination what I have accomplished in boxing, what I have done in boxing, 8 different weight division, and I never think that before. What I thought and what I think is before is to fight, to earn money, to help my family, to help my mother, and to be a champion in our country. But God has a purpose. He raised me from nothing into something for a purpose, and that purpose is not for my own purpose, but His purpose. And also, good thing it's happening to me that I know about God, and I know I have relationship to the Lord. And I'm so thankful to all of you that you inspire me every day in life. You inspire everything, that every time that there's a criticism for me, and that's how I learn how to correct myself, and how that I learn how to change the way it is, and how to change into the right path. So thank you to all of you, and I hope and invite you to watch my last fight on April 9 against Timothy Bradley in MGM Las Vegas, and don't miss it, because this is my last fight, and you never see the fight again, my fight again. So thank you, and God bless you all. Have a nice day.
Don't create any extra pressure. It is what it is. Really don't look at the past too often. I mean, I guess I want to know something. That's the only time I go back and look at the past. But this is completely different. Going into this fight, my mindset is completely different. I'm not trying to prove anything. I've already proved what I am, who I am in the sport of boxing. What I'm trying to do is just trying to build my legacy as a fighter by beating the best fighters out there in the world. That's all I'm trying to do here. So this is just my job. April 9th is gonna be my job. Win by all costs. Win. Do whatever you got to do to win the fight.
And you have a great support group. I know even before you, it said your wife and
Yeah.
family stood beside you when there
course.
were a lot of maybe comments that maybe weren't so pleasant.
My family, I have a great family. My wife is a fantastic human being. She's my partner in crime, and we work together, to make my career the best of what it is right now. And she's done a great job managing me and moving me in the right direction and putting me up and giving me opportunities like this to fight, Manny Pacquiao.
And just to end, you have Teddy Atlas on your side. How did that come about? And tell us a little bit about your camp.
Well, Teddy Ellis is like Bob said, a boxing encyclopedia. He's a great trainer, very underrated, very unknown as a trainer. But he's fantastic. I don't know if you saw that Brandon Rios performance. A lot of people said I looked sensational in that fight. I felt good. I knocked out a guy that never been stopped before, and that just shows you how much I've grown as a fighter with adding Teddy to my team. So.
Just say a shout out to your fans.
Big shout out to all my fans out there, baby. Support us, baby. April 9th, man. Don't miss it. I'm telling you right now, do not miss it. It's going to be a smart monster April 9th, baby. And it's going to be hard to deal with. Thank you. Thanks for the support.
I consider this fight is an important fight in my life because this is my last fight and I want to win this fight. I want to end my career as winner.
Now,
When you walk away from boxing, how do you want your fans to remember you as?
I want them to remember me as a good fighter, not only a good fighter in the ring, but outside the ring, a nice person and also a friendly person.
Thank you.
Thank
Manny, you referenced that today is that you wanted, particularly just to paraphrase you, to go out on a bang, basically, to make this a good fight as your last fight. Was that a shot at Floyd Mayweather and the whole Andre Berto thing of that not being, you know, a great fight? And what makes this such a great fight in comparison?
Good thing that we have a chance to fight with Floyd Mayweather. My last fight and another fight with before I retire with Bradley. I'm so happy with that.
How important was it for you to fight a pound-for-pound fighter and to not take, you know, so-called easy way out?
How important?
How important was it for you to choose somebody of the caliber of Timothy Bradley as opposed to somebody that people may argue that wasn't of caliber for you to go out on your last fight? Like you said, you.
No, I never underestimate Timothy Bradley. He's a world champion. He's a good fighter. So we cannot underestimate him.
Is there one fighter throughout your career who you didn't get to fight? Maybe somebody, you know, like a Paul Williams or somebody like that, somebody who you would have wanted to fight as a fantasy fight that you never got a chance to?
I think I fight them all.
You fought everybody you wanted to fight?
Yeah.
You could have fought anyone before you retired, but you chose Timothy Bradley.
Yeah.
You know, which is a difficult opponent. I mean, why Timothy?
I chose Timothy because he's a very competitive fighter, and our last two fights has a lot of questions in the fans, so we will answer that this third fight. Thank you.
2 more minutes, guys.
My shoulder is good, 100% healed.
Do you think you're going to miss the sport of boxing? Not just actual matches, but training, all of the hard work?
I'm sure I'm going to be missing it, but you know, being busy in the Philippines, fulfilling my job, performing my job, I think I will forget that.
I'm Kristal Hart reporting from Madison Square Garden. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the fight.